Yeah, it is. All right, here we go. 2 examples for 1 for free. All right, so this is a big, can we take a graph and write the equation for it? The thing I always remind myself is it's going to be like my A times sine or cosine of B times X plus C, right? And then plus D. Like we have to find those 4 magic numbers. But they're all something important, right? They all are something. Thank you. Thank you. Like, we did this earlier, right? This is our midline shift, amplitude, period, starting point. You know what I mean? Like, we can find all these. And it tells us to do it anyways. I could start with the amplitude, right? But what I would probably start with is actually my, I'd find a midline. So what is my midline on this? 3, right? And remember, this is going to give me my D, right? I'm going to think about that, like, that will give me that part of my equation. Now I'll find amplitude. How far up or down do I go from the midline? 2. So my amplitude is 2, which gives me A. Now I'm going to... Have you guys noticed something neat? So I go down first. I start at an intercept, then go down. So it's going to be a negative sign. Or could I just shift it and make it positive? You could. Have you guys noticed that? I'm going to do the negative because I think it's easier. Does that make sense? Like, I just go down first. Sign's supposed to go up, but it went down. So I'm going to think about, that's my negative A. It's going to be negative. What's my period on this beast? I go from here to here. So it's 4 pi, right? So that means 2 pi over B equals 4 pi, right? So what's B got to be? 1/2. Here, I'll even write these. A would be -2 because of the reflection, right? So do I have a phase shift on this? Not the way I did it. Could I have done this with a phase shift? But then I wouldn't have the negative. So there's multiple answers. It would have been a phase shift of 2 pi if you would have done it that way. Yes, it would have been -2 pi because we went. It would be either, yeah, because it's half the period. Because if we move this over that way, or if we move it over that way, it's the same graph. Periodic graphs are funny. Like, haha, funny. All right. Verify with a graphing utility. So, oh wait, hold on. Let's make our actual equation. So we agree it's sine. So based on this, it'd be -2 sine of 1/2 x. No phase shift, right? So I guess I could have just done that plus 3. No. So if I plug that in my calculator, then I'd make sure that it looks the same. And it will. As long as you're in radians. Make sure your calculator's in radians, right? So far, have we done a single problem with degrees actually in this? If you take calc, degrees show up only in story problems, but most of the time you're dealing with radians. Now, what are my min, my max, and my points of inflection? I'm doing this without notes, guys. What's my min? 1. So could I say it's the point? My min is the point pi 1, but my min is 1. Does that make sense what I'm saying? What is the minimum value? 1. What point is the minimum? Pi 1. Remember that these questions matter. Like, what is the point? What is the min? Where is the min? Those are the 3 questions that can happen. A nice review from Unit 1. Good. You get to learn it again. All right, what's my max going to be then? 5. So I just want what is the min and what's the max value. Oh, no, they want the points. I'm sorry. It said state the maximum minimum points. So it'd be 3 pi 5. The max is 5. It occurs at 3 pi. What else do I want? What are my points of inflection? How many points of inflection do I have in one period? I can argue this actually.
Oh yeah, it's 3. Maximum
3. That's what I would say, but I want to see what they say. Oh, let's just do that. I like that better. I like that a lot better. Where's an easy point of inflection? Okay. I have 0, 3. Do I have another? So I have here, here, and here, right? I have 2 pi 3, and I have 4 pi 3. Could I have written this in an easier way? Yeah. I could do 2 pi n 3, right? Where n is an integer. Because that would work for all cases, right? Because it's going to repeat every 2 pi n. Would 6 pi 3 work? Would 10 pi 3 work? 9 pi 3? No, because it's not a multiple of 2. Any even number would work, actually. All right. So technically, they wanted it over one period. State the maximum in one period and the... Oh, if it's one period, I could have named them. Or I could have just said that. They both work. All right. That's... Again, this is the hardest type of problem you'd see for graphing. By problem. You know what the worst part about doing math on the whiteboard is? There's something about doing all this work and then I just erase it and it's just gone. Oh yeah. It's about the process. When I was in college, here's actually good advice for you guys. So to get better at math, the best thing you can do to get good at math is just do a lot of problems, right? I used to go to the SVSU in the computer lab, and they have a bunch of paper that was scrap paper, and I'd grab like stacks of it, and I'd just go through and like do tons of practice problems on the back. But I was also a savage and would do math in pen, so I like writing in pen more. But those were practice problems, so I would just like burn through them, and I tossed them all. I should have kept them to make it like decorate my room like a mad person, just like wallpaper one room with them, like decoupage it. All right, good talk. But that's your life advice. All right, let's look at this one. Okay. Let's find our stuff first. What do I like to find first? Let's find that midline. I don't know why. I just like to... -6 to 2. Oh, Jiminy Crickets, really? No, that's not bad. -6 to 2 is 4. So my midline's y equals -2. So I know my d is -2. Now remember, I don't know if it's sine or cosine yet. I could probably figure that. Well, it doesn't matter. Could I do any problem like sine? With a shift. Could I do any problem with cosine? With a shift. Which one? But I like to avoid phase shifts. You know what I mean? So you guys want to do this avoiding a phase shift? Or do you guys want to do it with a phase shift?
Yeah.
What do you guys want to do? Without a phase shift? How about I do both? And I'll show you. It's really quick to show you guys both. I'll do it without first. I'll show you how I would do if I was doing homework. I would say, I'm starting at a min. Uh-oh, which graph starts with a min or a max? Cosine. So it's going to be a cosine. Not just a cosine, but it's going to be a negative cosine because I'm starting below. So I need to find my amplitude. What's my amplitude in this beast? 4. So that means A is going to be -4, right? Because it's It starts at a min. So I have my amplitude, I have my vertical shift. I will not have a phase shift on this one because the way we did it. What's my period on this beast? Pi. So then what's my B gotta be? Yeah, because are you guys getting a lot quicker at finding? Oh, I'm sorry. What do I divide it by? 2. Is that everything I need for my equation? Do you see how quick we're getting at this?
You are.
This part? It's our equation is 2 pi over b equals our period. So then I would solve it. Or just think, what would I have to plug down here to get rid of that 2? I'd put a 2 there. So that's my equation, right? So I would have done negative cosine, negative 4 cosine of, I don't even need that parentheses, 2x minus 2. Now let's say I'm not a negative person. I'm more like this young gentleman over here. I'm more positive. I don't want it to be negative. I want to do this with a phase shift. So if you want to just keep this one written and keep it that way, that's fine. Or think about this. Let's say I treat this as a phase shift and I started up here. Is that a negative cosine now? No, but I shifted it over right pi over 2. So I could have done 4 cosine of 2 times x minus pi over 2 minus 2. They're the exact same graphs. Right? Yep. In fact, what we're going to learn in about 3 units is this is an identity. Negative cosine equals cosine of x minus pi over 2. Uh-oh.
You are.
Ahoy hoy.
Is that positive?
Yes, it is.
Quick intermission. Or I ever. That's right.
No, thank you. Yeah.
They're trying to like sell them something. Telemarketing.
Yep, will do.
Telemarketing. Yeah, I'm gonna need that for cover to come to.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be like they could probably hear you saying, "Yeah, this is Mike's the great." You give us your credit card information, we'll give you a free iPhone. Free screws.
Yep. Bye.
You're gonna have to make a cut. Telemarketing.
Nope, I'm leaving it in. All right. There we go. So I showed both ways. But even if I do it either way, will my mins and max stay the same? They wanted my money. They said I could travel the world. For teachers, free teacher to travel the world. I almost said I was under house arrest by my wife. All right, no ankle monitor. All right, so my min point is 0, -6. Do you agree? Do I have another min point in one period? They want one period. Pi and -6. Instead of listing those out, could I have said it's pi n -6? Where n is... Why did I start using n? Usually you're going to use k. Yeah, it depends on the book. You can. It's half a period. Or no, that's a period, yeah. Because it'll repeat every period. The inflections repeat twice per period. You know what I mean? Because you always have at least 2 intercepts per period. What? It doesn't matter. You can use x or k. It depends on the book. So what's my max point? Pi over 2. 2? Does that one repeat within one period?
Yeah.
No. Now remember, this one technically would be 0 plus pi over n because it's your starting point plus it. If you need all the mins, it'd be pi over 2 plus pi n, right? You need your starting point. Because let's do our point of inflection. I have 2 of them, right? My first one is at pi over 4. Pi over 4, -2. Now if I want, my next one would be 3 pi over 4, right? Now again, if I wanted to write a rule for all cases, this one I would take my first one plus pi n over 2 negative 2 because it happens twice per period, so I have to divide my period in half. If I want for all cases.
Where n is also numbers.
N exists. No, integers. N exists in the integers. Yes, you should kind of. All right, good lesson. I hope you enjoyed the phone call.